welcome back to the channel. Today we're continuing on, well, we're actually going to start the strip down the XL1000 Varadero 2001, just under 93,000 miles as I explained in the last video. Gave you a brief insight as to the issue I've got. It's now got a bit more confusing. Off camera I decided to actually just start taking off a few bits and pieces, and it's now kind of left me a bit confused and worrying it may be something else. I'll show you what I mean. Obviously at the moment I haven't hooked up the ABBA stand. I'm still looking into that as if I can get it up on the ABBA stand. All I've done for now, I've taken off obviously the sprocket cover we took off. I've now managed to get the sprocket off, drained the oil, nothing abnormal came out of there, and drained all the fuel. But the confusing bit is obviously when I showed you in the last episode when I moved the sprocket how much play there was on it. There is no play on that whatsoever. Yeah, so that's the baffling bit. There is no play, there is no movement, and there is no noise. But obviously before I drained all the oil out and the fuel, with the sprocket off, I did give it a start, and there is definitely that rattling noise is in there somewhere. So I'm getting a bit confused of, as I say, there's, as you heard in the previous episode, a big rattle. The oil is fine. As I say, a change wasn't done that long ago, and as I say, the normal amount of oil came out. All I can think of with the sprocket is maybe that was just old and it was just running loose, but the actual spline is fine. It doesn't smoke. So I think the next thing I'm probably going to do, as I say, I'm going to try and get this up on the ABBA stand as I can, because it's a lot easier to work on and it's a lot easier for people to see. As I say, at the moment I'm just using a little mini LED spotlight. But I think the next thing will be get this sump off, see if there's anything actually laying in the sump. But as I say, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments box below. But next job is the sump. Right, so I've now got the bike up. It's on the ABBA stand. I've just fitted the ABBA stand to it. Unfortunately with this bike, before I can actually take, you can see in there, the sump off, the exhaust has to come off, because the exhaust loops down into the sump, or just underneath the sump, so there's not enough room to get a socket on any of these. And I'm not even going to try with the spanner because I don't think I'll have enough clearance, or they'll come out easy enough. So the whole exhaust system's got to be dropped beforehand. As I say, being a V-twin, obviously the other exhaust is tucked in there, and you've got one pipe obviously up the side, another one up the other side. So to get to the bolts that hold the silencers on, all this back end's got to come out. Obviously the pain with this one is obviously I run full luggage on it, so all these have got to come out before I can take the bodywork off. So the next job is take all the bodywork off. Right, so just quickly pop the seat off, the battery's already disconnected. So all this racking, all the bolts there, the rack, the side panniers, which are again connected up underneath to the rack and down to the footrest, that's all got to come out. And then I can start undoing all the side panels, to actually get the tail off. It's a fairly quick procedure, but could do without it. So I'm going to quickly whip all this lot off, and then we can get the silencers off. Right, so the givey rack's out of the way. Undone the 2 bolts here, undone the 2 bolts here, disconnected the indicators. So that whole unit will now pull up. And the wires just pull through. And that's the main rear rack out of the way. And grab the spacers as well. So now we can start disconnecting from here and lift this complete tail unit off. Right, so they're Allen screws. There's just one here, one there, and usually one there. So there's 4 each side. So I'm just going to pop them out, and then we can pop that tail out. As you can see in there, you've got the seat latch cable. So I've just got to take that out, and then this comes off and we can get to the silencers. Right, so as I say, next one is this bolt here, and there's one on the other side, and that should free up the silencer. Right, so that's that one loose from that side. I just need to do the other side. Alright, let's see if we can wiggle this one free. As you can see, this one's dropped nicely and is moving. That one's going to take some encouragement. But so that should come out. It's already been unbolted from the bottom. So I just need to loosen that out and try and pull that off. Right, so as you can see, the exhaust is nearly down. Well, that's your exhaust clamps. It's rusted and snapped, so they will be replaced. So all I've got to do is I've just had to reconnect that front pipe, because obviously it feeds through and then joins the 2 off the back. So as I say, that pipe's down. I've just got to pull that out. Gently does it, because it is an old pipe. I say the gaskets will all be replaced. All this will be cleaned. So that's now nice and loose. I've just got to get to the rear cylinder, which is buried away in there. I don't think I'll have enough clearance just to drop the front and hopefully get the sump off. I mean, this is I I want to check the sump because I just want to see if there's actually anything dropped inside, any debris or anything, so it gives me an idea what I'm dealing with. But it is a real pain that everything seems to be connected. To get the exhaust off, you've got to take the tail piece off. Take the tail piece off, I've got to take the racking system off. It's a similar, well, the ST was the same. Similar with the tank. You want to take the tank off, you've got to unbolt the fairing, but you can actually just lever it out of the way and pull it out. So only problem is now I'm left with a garage full of parts which I'm trying to clear, but this job needs to be done. So next job, I'll take the tank off. Again, for the tank, it's just this fairing screw, this fairing screw, this one, and the same on the other side, just so it moves it back. And then 2 bolts at the front for the tank, 2 bolts at the rear. Because like I say, I don't think I'll have enough clearance. Drop that down. But let's have a look, because these, I've only put these bolts in loose. Yeah, it's not. Oh, actually, with a bit of wiggling that may work. Right, finally the downpipe's out, so I've now got full access to the sump. I ended up having to remove the centre stand, which gave me much better access. I'll get some light under there. And that is the downpipe from the rear cylinder, so I didn't actually have to take that out, which is nice. But as I say, now I can get to the sump. Which is what I wanted in the first place, but so it's taken some time to get to it. So I'll get the sump off, and that will probably end this episode, and then we'll carry on with the strip down in the next episode. Right, so let's start getting the sump off. As usual, as I did with the Z, use a piece of card. And as I take out the bolts, I'll pop them in the piece of card in the order they came out in. Right, so that's the 4 for this side. I've scrolled a mark in there because there's a bracket in between these two. And obviously that's the front. So I'm going to carry round and join me when I'm on the last bolt. Right, so that's all the bolts. That's the front of the bike. And that's where the 2 brackets are, and they're the rear ones. So that's all of them out. Right, here is the moment of truth. Right, so you are seeing this as I'm seeing it for the first time. Oh, need them. Well, there is nothing. No lumps, no shards of metal. Alright, let me retrieve them 2 discs. Right, I've just got them 2 metal spacers. One fell out of there and one out of there. Right, so here is the second moment of truth. Again, not actually seeing a great deal. That's baffling. Not seeing anything loose, broken. Right, so thanks for joining me on that one. Hope that one was helpful. As I say, I'm completely baffled. As I say, you all heard the huge knocking rattle, but as I say, even with the sump off, there's just nothing. You know, I was expecting, I don't know what I was expecting, maybe a bearing that had gone or something, or shards or something, but no, there's absolutely nothing. So, as I say, I've had a feel up inside. There does feel a little bit of play on the big end of the con rods. I don't know, maybe next episode it might be worth actually getting the tank off and having a look at the rear cylinder and see what we can find out from there. But any comments in the comments box below. This is quite a confusing one, that everything seems, well, apart from the dirt that's holding the bike together, but everything seems okay. It's very confusing. The oil came out fine, nothing in the sump. I don't know what I was expecting with the sump. I just thought that might be an easier way just to see if there was any, save me stripping everything, but it looks like I may have to, because I had to strip most things to actually get to the sump in the first place. But as I say, if you've got any thoughts on it, let me know. It'll be interesting to find out. I mean, obviously this isn't helping my situation. I've now got a garage full of parts. I'm trying to actually empty it but not fill it up, but I need to get this bike sorted and get it back up and running if possible. But as I say, next episode we'll continue with the strip down. We'll keep going through. I'll probably just bolt the sump up loose for now, because obviously I'm going to need to move the bike around. And then we'll take the tank off, and as I say, we'll explore into the rear cylinder and see what happens from there. But as usual, links to other videos top left and top right, and join me again next time. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye.